Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. You know where you are, the 9 at 9 with me, Tigo. And if you're sitting there or if you're driving and listening, you know it's time to bring an expert up. But this is a really fun expert. This is an expert that makes you smile. Dr. Smiley's here. Yeah, we're going to find out what that means in just a second. So sit right there. We'll be right back.
Expert Talk is sponsored by Pod Nation TV, the podcast to broadcast network.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Yep, Dr. Smiley's here, or as you may know him, Ken Rochon. He is here because he's the guy that brings the smiles. He's a photographer. He's a publisher. He's just like this cool networker that I keep running into at every event. And every time I see him, he's got somebody smiling on camera. Hey, Dr. Smiley, are you out there?
I'm here, man. I'm here. Tigo, I got to say, it's about time. You know, when you're doing the right thing, you actually rise like the cream to actually be with people like you.
Oh, I thank you, sir. You're amazing. I see you around some of the grumpiest people in a conference. You know, all of us see the people that are sitting there like this or like this. And then I see them in the hallway with you and they're going, ting. You get them to smile. You get them to participate. How did you get started and why are you having them smile?
Well, I actually want to say that we've been fortunate enough to actually be at events where there's not so many grumpy people because they're filtered to make a difference in the world. They're heart-centered leaders. And I got started because it's kind of tragic, but my mom was diagnosed with dementia. I was a caregiver and she had Alzheimer's. And I said, God, what am I supposed to do with my life? This is a woman that has believed in me and has encouraged me and has actually said, nothing is not possible. So that was one. And then, do you know Barry Shore by any chance?
Know the name. I don't think I've had the honor of meeting in person.
Well, he handed me this card 7 years ago.
Keep smiling. Okay.
And it reminded me of my mom. I mean, it's corny, but it's true. And I said, you know, she brought the most smiles to me, but she also is a believer in why is it that people can't have acceptance and why can't they accept our indigenous Indians? Why can't they drop their stuff about being discriminate? And so I just really said, you know, you gave me life, but you also gave me hope. So let me be the tribute to your life. And so everything I do and why I've run into you so many times, you go to events that actually people are movers and shakers. They make things happen.
Yeah. And it's a privilege and an honor. And a lot of people don't even know the secrets that are out there. Hint, hint, hint. That, you know, we get to make the secret knock. But a lot of people don't know there's so many, like so few, I should say, really great, impactful events that happen every year. And you believe the same way I do. I believe that no matter what storms, snow on the Hollywood sign, it doesn't matter. We're getting to these events because that's where our friends are. That's where it happens every year, right?
It is. And, you know, I think Steve Jobs said it kind of in a weird way. He says the crazy ones that think they can change the world, but they are the ones crazy enough to change the world.
Yeah. And you sit there and listen to these guys and they're going, this is going to happen. That's going to happen. And you're like, go away. And 2 years later, you see commercials about the same thing. And you're like, whoa, you know, and I need to start paying attention. I really, really need to start paying attention.
Well, you know, look at the two probably most successful people based on money. And I don't like that to be a way we measure success, but let's just do that for a second. You got Elon Musk and you have Jeff Bezos.
Yep.
They were looked at as a bit crazy 10 years or 20 years ago.
Well, you know, Twitter happened not too long ago. I'm not saying anything, but go ahead.
Well, my point is they're so out there on what they can create in the world that if you were to invest in them, you'd be a very rich person.
Yeah, Exactly. Exactly. Okay. So you're a publisher. I know that.
Yes.
You're an amazing photographer. How did you get into publishing, and what's your current projects you got going on?
Well, I mean, this is the last day of Black History Month, but I have worked with the most prominent, heartfelt leaders in the world that are Black leaders. And so I created this book called Black History Year and celebrating the birthdays of all the amazing people. And I'm going to show you just kind of how crazy big this is. That's
Oh,
Quincy.
wow.
Yeah.
That
And
might be a couple of people we know who they are.
when's your birthday?
November
November what?
15th.
November 15th? Okay. The
Yeah.
reason I want to see if I didn't even check. So we're going to have to put you in this book on November 15th because you're doing really big things. But this is every day we honor someone that has actually created hope, leadership, and community.
So let me ask you, why print? A lot of major publications are starting to fade out on print and go just strictly digital. But I know that you're passionate about your printed books. Why print?
So digital is no expense. It's no investment. It's no commitment. That's my opinion. And I'm not saying that this is doing well sales-wise. I'm going to be very clear with you. These books are not about sales. They're about actually showing that we believe in the message enough to print it. And this book might do 100,000 downloads, and it might only sell, believe it or not, 5 or 10,000 books. It's not going to be a big seller, but it's going to cause people to actually recognize these people that are making a difference in the world. And that's where it's at.
How long have you been doing these books? And don't you do publishing for other authors as well?
I do.
Okay.
A conference that I would love to see you at is the Best U Expo. And he entrusted me to publish, I think it's his 4th book, but it's called A Man Evolving by Bernardo Moya. And he has 130 speakers, roughly somewhere between 5 and 10,000 participants. And we also did it in Spanish.
Wow.
Do it in French and all kinds of other languages. But my point is, if you have a message and you want to impact the world, why wouldn't you want a publisher that's going to take it to event after event after event after event? And I have to tell you, you show up at the best events in the world. And I almost want to get your schedule to know where I'm supposed to be next, because you care about leaders. You care about, I mean, this podcast is a nice little bump and an explosion of what the message could be. I'm just so impressed that every time I run into you, I'm thinking, man, I need to know where she's going next because I need to be there, because you care about people that are actually making a difference.
I think the same thing, and then we end up in the same place. So it's like we don't talk to each other, but our calendars seem to match up. Maybe they're, it's technology. Maybe they're talking to each other without telling us. Well, but yeah, I want to be where you are as well. And I'm just shocked at how many people not only do the smile photos, they do them, but then on top of that, when it's over and you send them their photo, you see it floating on social media all over the place, and I'm like, oh, Ken was there. Dr. Smiley showed up. How do you get people to stop and take a minute and just, be in that moment and just be a big kid for a minute and do that, hold the card, take the picture?
So I've done hundreds and hundreds of interviews and podcasts. I have to tell you, I've never had that asked to me. And so I want to applaud you. I want to applaud you on being a great interviewer. And I also want to applaud you on asking a question that has a very interesting behavioral science aspect, as well as really what is it to actually connect with people at a very, very, very quick level. So I met John Travolta, and when I met him, all these people, Quincy Jones, all these people I've only met for 30 seconds or less. I mean, you know what it is to meet a celebrity. It's insane if you have them even acknowledge you. So yeah. I go up to someone like John Travolta or Quincy Jones. I say, you have inspired so many smiles in the world. I'd like to honor you in a book. Would you hold up this card and let me photograph you? And the answer is yes, by cool people. I mean, it's just the way to, I mean, you've done it. You know what I'm said.
Yep.
That's what I said. And the point is, I believe in this person. And in seconds, I have to have them get that I care about them showing up in the world the right way. It's that simple.
So if somebody wants to be in one of your books and they're never at an event where you are, which is almost impossible because you're all over the world, but they're never there, is there a way for them to kind of maybe submit to you their smile photo and just kind of say, hey, Dr. Smiley, can I be in your book?
Teresa, if I was next to you right now, I would hug you, because you didn't just ask one great question. You asked a phenomenal question on top of that. So the answer is yes. They can just go to their photographer and they can hold up a blank card, not a smile card, but a blank card, and we'll Photoshop Keep Smiling into their hand. But you know what the secret of the beautiful smile that happens? This is, I think you're going to ask this question anyway, because you're off the charts on questions. So the question is, why is that shot so critical or important, or why do they choose that shot to show on social media? And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
When you are being professional, acceptable, appropriate, you show up as that. Is that correct?
Right.
But when you show up as joy, it's another level. I mean, it could be 10 levels higher. So I ask a person like you, I say, what are you grateful for? What do you love? And all of a sudden they exude all this joy and energy. And they say, that's the best shot I've ever seen of myself. And it's not that I took it. It's that they were being the energy I was asking for, which is their most beautiful self, being joy. Now, the second part of that question is I can't actually take credit for any of these photos. God told me, take this picture and ask this question. And when I ask the question and I take one shot, and it's as if some energy force is coming in, grabbing their soul and bringing it into my camera. I know it sounds so corny and it sounds so unbelievable, but I swear to you, I have zero talent compared to what I see in that photo. When I take that picture, you know what I'm saying?
I totally believe you. I totally believe you. I mean, all the years that I've been behind cameras, I'm amazed when I look at the footage or the shots that come out of it. It's like, it's not me. It's not the camera. What just happened? Now, before our producer cuts us off, let's tell everybody how they find you. And I hope you'll come back, because I know this was a short introductory interview, but I hope you'll come back and we could just go deep. How do they find you?
Perfectpublishing.com. And we are looking for people that want to reach 20 million people with a dose of hope. Doses, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, to reach people that have lost hope. So I would love to hear from people that want to inspire the world.
Well, Dr. Smiley, my buddy Ken, thank you so much for being on the show. Please come back again. You are the best.
Thank you, Teresa.
Awesome. All right, everybody, keep smiling. You know, you just heard from Dr. Smiley. I know you're sitting out there smiling right now. And remember, take a picture with a photographer while you're thinking about what you're grateful for, and send it to Dr. Ken. And if you don't remember how to get in touch with him, you know what to do. Go to tigodirect.com, look up Dr. Smiley, Ken, keep smiling. You'll find him. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this episode. You know I want you to come back next time. And as always, I'm Tigo. I'll talk to you. Keep smiling next time. All right, go out, take